This programming is sponsored by the Imprint Brown Reading Series, presenting award-winning author Yuri Herrera with his new novel, Season of the Swamp, January 27th, 7:30 p.m. at the Alley Theatre. More at imprint.org.
I remember I tried to force myself to watch football. I can remember this very clearly, and it's one of the most boring periods of my life.
Because you just get in for football.
I found it absolutely horrendous. It's the most, it was a form of torture to me. But at the same time, I wasn't just forcing myself to watch football. I also pretended and tried to condition myself into not liking nature. And I will never forget that, because nature taught me a lesson, and it's still with me to this day, because during that month or two when I pretended I didn't like nature, a pod of orcas came into Cork Harbour, and everybody in the town, all my classmates who were too cool for nature, they all saw these killer whales. I didn't, because I avoided all of the areas I used to go because I was pretending I liked football now. And to this day, I still haven't seen a killer whale.
As you got older, did that desire to fit in, was it still there?
100%. Yeah, always. I mean, I would always try to kind of get along, and I'd watch other people and see how they spoke or how they interacted to get into these circles, and I would kind of mimic their behaviour. And
turn right.
It was always the same. I would kind of get so far. At least as I always felt anyway. I would get so far, and then after a while,
get ready to
something would
turn
change,
left.
and I'd feel like I was found out whoever I was. Whoever that person I was.
Turn left.
A socially awkward guy, or a bit of an odd guy, maybe, I thought. I never really cracked it.
Sean approached the end of secondary school and took his exams. He knew he wanted to do something involving nature. It was almost a necessity. He didn't know what shape that would take. Then, on the form he was asked to fill out to indicate what he'd like to study, saw the word zoology, realised he could study nature at university. Said that option, just that, nothing else. All his eggs.
Stay left. Then turn left.
Two options in case you don't get it. And I said, failure's not an option. I'm getting this, and there's nothing else that I want. I only wanted that.
At university, Sean soon realised that a lot of socialising revolved around drinking. He was young for his year group and wasn't even old enough to walk into a bar for most of his first year. It just added to his sense of being the odd one out. In spring 2005, after his 18th birthday, and after a bunch of exams, he finally went for a night out at the pub.
Yeah, I mean, while I obviously, of course, I wouldn't confirm to bring out their personality or to give me confidence to be something. That's what it did for me at that time. I guess it kind of broke down some internal barriers in my mind and allowed me to kind of approach people in a silly manner I did on that night. And the next morning, I woke up with a strong hangover, and some friends were asking me to walk up again. So all in the country, we didn't see each other in the weeks. I thought about it and said, let's say, look, let's just take a round, and help the others. But I felt progressively worse and worse and worse.
Stay right. Then exit right.
It's a coincidence I have done something like that. So I went to
Exit right.
afraid to go and talk to my mother because I thought she was in a while in the States, failing me coming in, and
Stay
I
left.
still wondering is it
Then
right?
turn left.
And so I went to bed, she went to the shop, and things kind of started to take a turn from there. I went on that
Turn left.
my stomach really sore, my head was throbbing, my eyes were starting to kind of feel like shooting pains, and I had to go to the toilet, vomiting and whatnot, and I started to feel really dizzy.
That's
And
scary.
It was, well, yeah, it was like, and it was getting progressively more and more painful, and my mum came in and she said, look, take another paracetamol. were so many doctors coming in and out with clipboards and looking over me, and nobody could really figure it out. And in the meantime, what I didn't realise was in the waiting room, so there was a separate room outside that they brought all my family into. They said, you need to call Sean's brother out of school. You need to call all of your close relatives. Your son is not going to make it. So you need to tell them to come in and say make their peace and say goodbye.
They thought this would be the end of you.
The priest was called for last rites, and but they came in to say goodbye. You know, I was 18, and I knew what was happening because I was more aware than they really was. And I remember that when he was crying at the door, my man said, "Sean, Corey, you have to stop. You can't let him see you cry. We need to be strong for him." And I heard that, and they came over, and they said goodbye. And my mum, that's why my mum let the mask slip. She said, "Sean, you're too young to go. You have to fight it." And
What's going on, everybody? This is YouTube England.
And then I knew that I wasn't.
It's the same 40.
It was dying. It was dying.
I'm going
And so I sat up in the chair.
to
Sat myself up in the chair and I just
to
said,
South Africa.
agony.
I'm not getting on that
Time. Like if I forced myself to stick to white and stay awake, I was still taking. The reason I was passing was my heart was failing, all my organs were failing, and I had septicemia. So I had sepsis flowing through my body. So everything was shutting down, all my organs.
Yeah,
And
today is
it was making me
Wednesday,
delirious.
January the 8th. Time out here is 3:17.
And yeah, so that was it. I was going to go, I was going to pass. And what another thing that I
Yeah,
didn't
so
realize, there was a woman by the name of Professor
my day been so good so
her day
far.
off. She was
I
walking through loads of stairs.
didn't have to
Just at the nick of
traffic
time,
as usual.
she realised I had meningitis type Y. She
my
ran down
day
and
just
started
been great.
to administer whatever it was to bring me into some kind of a stable condition. And they went down and told my parents that, you know, we know what it is now, and we're starting to turn
Yeah,
around.
the temperature out here is like 33 degrees out here.
That was it. I was brought up to an isolation ward.
I had just left
I was
Cali.
there for like a week. And it was
Truck
just
stop
this
not too long
glass
ago.
or perspex partition around.
The gas
So
is
touch and go. They didn't know what was
spread
going to happen.
on 40.
So my heart was hit, and
Like
I was still
onto a
septicemia
press.
in my body flowing through my
So I think
too. So I
gas
died overnight
was
instead.
like $3 and $3.38 a gallon. I'm talking about
So much so that
diesel gas.
my parents said that they were going to the person that did not get a conversation. As if there was somebody standing next to me, like,
I had
and
one
gestures. But I remember it was me. And this is a strange thing now. As I said, I'm not 100% I don't believe in ghosts or anything like that. But
I've been
point.
It just makes you a little bit more efficient.
So I'm able to build more relationship and focus on the clients much more.
Get home internet so simple, you can install it yourself. From US Cellular.
Service in the U.S. is made possible by American Public Media. APM produces and distributes programs that inform and inspire, entertain, and engage audiences everywhere.
Coming up next on Outlook, our chat with the celebrated Irish sound recordist Sean Renane continues. Encouraged by girlfriend Alba, Sean has given up a job he hates to chase something he loves. But his relationship with Alba is proving tricky.
And she said, you know, Sean, we've been together for several months now. All you talk to me about is your obsessions, about your birds. And I need you to express yourself.
Stay with us as Sean prepares to take the biggest leap of his life. That's after the news.
BBC. Coalition sent Prime Minister Netanyahu a letter opposing the truce. 7 men have been rescued from a mine shaft in South Africa after spending more than 2 months trapped underground. The dam was attacked by the Rapid Support Forces.